Hello everybody! It is day 9 of our 21-day challenge. How is everybody? I hope you're doing well. I hope you are believing in yourself and that you can start a new day each day, set new goals each day, try new things. And I just want to encourage you guys to reassess. Take this week to reassess and see how things are going, and look at last week. What did you do successfully and what was hard, and see how you can make your daily activities fit a little bit more in line with your real life. If we set lofty goals and we try to do things that just isn't a reality for us in our daily life, we won't be able to attain it. So we want to reassess, and it doesn't hurt to do this often. Even each night when you get into bed, you can lay down and think about what you can do differently, which I'm sure a lot of us do. So it's good if we can just reassess and set a new plan for the next day and try to make a better fit. And I am always doing this. I do this with our school schedule. I do it with my cleaning schedule. I do it with my chores. I just reassess all the time to make things work. I believe very much in being flexible. I don't think it's a reality, at least for my life, to have a very strict schedule. I've got 2 of my boys working. We drive them to and from work right now, and so and their schedule changes week to week. We have doctor appointments a lot of times for Laura, and our own errands that need to be done. And so with things like that coming and going, I know most of you moms are very busy, women are very busy, and so you always have to be reassessing and changing your schedule. So I think being flexible is important, but I think being willing to change how you're doing things and kind of going out of the box can help a lot. For instance, right now, because of my boys' work schedule, we do our history and our science at nighttime. After our family devotions, the kids stick around and we get our science and our history done together, and that just seems to be working for us right now. Preferably, I love getting everything done during the day and having my evenings fully off, but that's not always a reality. And when we have to come and go in the house more than once in a day, it really breaks up the schedule, as I'm sure you guys know that. And so you do what you have to do to make things work. You have to find that time slot that will allow consistency. If you depend on one time of the day, but that just happens to be the time that you have appointments or errands, you're never going to get that one particular thing done at that time, so you have to be willing to change. I have 5 points. I'm looking at my notes. I have 5 points for us today of the things that stop us from getting what we want to get done. So number 1 would be our lack of time. And I know most of us have a lack of time, and that can be because we have a disorganized work schedule. It can be because we're wasting time, which I know is easy to do too. And it can also be because we have a bad sleep schedule. We're tired, we're groggy, and we're just not managing our days right. So that's where that reassessment comes in. Is you want to look at your schedule and you want to change things to be more realistic with the way your life is. If you have a very moving schedule that changes day to day, then you have to, what are those little slots of time that don't change in the day? Usually it's either getting up at an early time so that you have a consistent time slot either for exercise or for your morning devotions, or something that you like to do before you leave the house during the day. And then again, a lot of times in the evening, there's usually a time slot that's pretty consistent that we're home before we turn in for the night. So whatever you have to do, it's when you get that consistency down that it helps you to feel better about your days. And that's what we're after. We want to get our basics down and we want to feel better about our days. So having a lack of time can definitely stop us from getting things done. And it takes getting on a good schedule with your sleep so that you can get up early enough to get things done. And it also takes being creative and being willing use those time slots, that we'd rather just be sitting, wasting time, maybe on our screens or watching shows. Sometimes we have to use those time slots for things that we know we need to get done in a day. So working on our lack of time is a big one. Number 2 is a lack of energy. And with our busyness and rush lives that we have, I know it's hard to have that energy. We are going all the time. And so because we're going all the time, a lot of times we're not eating well, or we're not resting well, or we're just barely getting by because we're putting too much on our plate. And we have to be willing to reassess and see what is stealing our energy. Is it things that are benefiting your life, or is it things that are time wasters and things that you're putting energy into that is getting you nowhere? There's no lasting benefit to putting your energy into those things. So getting your good sleep, just working hard to be consistent at that. That is one of the 3 things of our 21-day challenge, right? Is our sleeping, our activity, and our water, our hydration. So getting that energy where it needs to be will make all the difference in your schedule, and that lack of time and that lack of energy will soon change. The 3rd thing is that we have a lack of nutrients. And again, like I said, we're so busy and on the go, we're not eating well, we're not, again, getting the rest we need. But with nutrients, it's hard. So this is one of the reasons that I started doing smoothies, was because I wanted to get fruits, vegetables, and extra things that I knew I needed. I mean, I even put chia seeds and flax meal. I add all kinds of things I've added into my smoothies, as well as my green powders and that. I've put spinach in my smoothies as well. And then I'll get my cranberries in there, and things that I know are good for certain organs of the body, like your liver and your kidneys and that. So that's why I choose to use the things I do in my smoothies. But my smoothies are power punched with all kinds of goodness, and it is a quick way for me to get a lot of nutrients at one time. It's the other reason why I'm such a firm believer on supplements. And I love our Lifelong Vitality Pack of vitamins that I showed you guys the other day, because they cover all of the needs that your body has, all the different structures that are within us, and we need that. So when we're busy, we're on the go, you got to find those quick snacks, or maybe prepare chopped up vegetables and put them in baggies. So all you have to do is grab that baggie and it's ready to go. And remember to habit stack and integrate things. So if you're sitting and having a tea break, like I will have my tea break with my bar, but I could also add in a plate of those vegetables on the side, just to get the more nutrients in. And so you can feel that difference in your body and your performance. So yes, lack of nutrients can be another thing that stops us. The 4th thing is sometimes it's a lack of skill or knowledge. And we don't begin things, or we don't go after things, or we're not accomplishing things, or we're even procrastinating over doing something because we don't have maybe the skill, or we don't have the knowledge. And without either of those things, we don't have the confidence to go after it. So with most things that I do, I will research and research until I can't research no more. Now, I don't believe in researching and never beginning until you feel like you're at the end of it, but you just get a little bit in you, enough to motivate you to get started, and then you continue on and you can keep going, and all the while building your skill and your knowledge so that you can perfect what it is you're trying to do. So, like with adoption and the paperwork, there's a lot that I've had to read and reread over and over to understand what they're asking me to do. And then part of the issue with it is that you have to use a lot of technology especially now with COVID, you have to use a lot of technology with your paperwork and that, and the different papers or the different departments that I'm working with, it requires a different piece of technology that I have to learn first before I can even accomplish the paperwork. So there'll be times when I have to really research, study, and learn so that I have my confidence to do either the paperwork or do whatever it is. My husband and I, we've remodeled every house that we've lived in, and we didn't have that kind of an upbringing or background, but we researched, we read a lot of books in the early days. We had a whole library of books on plumbing and tiling and painting and electrical work and flooring and all of those things. We had a book for everything, and I've slowly gotten rid of those books one by one because we have the internet now, and we use YouTube if we're doing things that we aren't quite sure how to do, and so we learn as we go, but we don't let it stop us from doing it. We just go ahead and get started, do the best we can, and get as much knowledge and skill as we can. So you want to take time. Even at nighttime, it's such a good time to sit, and that's when you do your research or your reading, instead of maybe just scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or just watching a movie. It's nice to set aside a little bit of time before sleep to read things that benefit the mind and give you knowledge and give you skill so that you can better your days and better your tasks with confidence. And then the last thing is storms. There's storms in life. Things come up. There are people who might be negative towards the things you're trying to do, or comments that can hurt you, and you might feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, or maybe I shouldn't be going after this. And yes, it is a good thing if someone comes to you and says, I don't feel like you should be doing this, you should step back and reassess. You should ask yourself, why am I doing this? And is this the right time in my life? Or should I be taking on this task? And you should reassess, and you should pray about it, and take a moment and take a break to make sure that you're heading in the right direction with your life. But once you have your confidence, you can't expect always that things are going to go smooth. I really believe that storms and bumps in the road, and that it builds our character, it strengthens us. God is always creating in us who He sees in us and who He wants us to be. And so we want to allow those things to happen. We want to allow ourselves to go through those storms, to allow God to change us and make us into the person He wants us to be. And it doesn't always come with ease, but there will be storms and there will be bumps. And I know in my own life, I feel very strongly, if I'm walking close with the Lord, I know when He is telling me to stop something. I can feel His peace, I can feel His guidance, and I can feel Him by my side when I'm going in the right direction. And but also when things don't go right and there's a mishap, I won't let that stop me. I'll learn what it is I need to learn, press on, and keep going. So I've always told my kids too, you don't let a little storm stop you from going forward. And you want it to be that way. You want to keep going, all the while being attentive to that inner voice inside that's letting you know, keep going or stop. And I believe all of us, if we're in tune with our lives and we're in tune with the Lord, you will know if you're heading in the wrong direction. And so I just want to encourage you, don't let the storm stop you. Keep going. So the 5 things again is a lack of time, a lack of energy, a lack of nutrients, a lack of skill and knowledge, and a lack of, well, not a lack, but storms that come. Those are all the things that can stop us from getting to where we want to be and beginning the things we want to begin. So if we can just press past those things, get those 5 things in order in our life, then we might start to see that things are starting to happen and we're getting things done. So I just want to encourage you guys to keep going, reassess this week. remember that it doesn't matter if it's the middle of the week and the middle of the day, you can begin again. And go after your dreams, your goals, and remember you are never too old and it's never too late. And I hope that we can just continue on together and be an encouragement to each other. I hope this was helpful for you and that you could like this video and subscribe and share it. And I will be back tomorrow with some more tips and motivation. And in the meantime, have a wonderful day. And